Welcome to Riverbend Talent on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Another Thursday night in the Riverbend, another Riverbend Talent on the Big Z, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Voris of German Insurance in Jerseyville, which we'll be talking about with our guest tonight, Jerseyville, and Macias Insurance right here. And what's going on? Well, you know what's going on. It's Thursday night. That means the Sea Shanty Sing-Along is always going on down at Morrison's Irish Pub. We got open mic tonight, hosted by Psychedelic Symphony at the Chez Maryland's from 6 to 8, where our surprise co-host has a gig this weekend. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Open mic sometimes at the Conservatory on a Thursday night. Got to check in, find out. Truckers, 6 to 10 at Fast Eddie's in Alton. Johnson's Corner, doing some live music tonight with Nick Buffano and Taryn Smith. They're also known as the American Jackals, and they got a new release. It's called Steady Shakin'. They're playing at 7 o'clock at Johnson's Corner, so get you some onion rings and enjoy some American Jackals. Kevin Gruen up at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville until 9. The Heaton Brothers at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville until 9. Spencer McDowell at Peel Woodfire Pizza until 9 o'clock. Tony G doing the Barrel and Brew in Edwardsville until 9 o'clock. We got Zach Rayner with Jordan Yulee on fiddle. 6 to 9 at the Cabin at Judy Creek and Glen Carbon. Salmon Creek down at Deutsch Village Inn in Pontoon Beach from 7 to 11. They usually have the open mic at El Gato Tavern in Granite City on a Thursday night. Haven't seen nothing posted on it lately, but, you know, could be happening. And I'm turning it around this week. We're calling them Michelle and Scott instead of Scott and Michelle. 5:30 to 8:30 at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey. And at this time, I usually introduce the star of the show, but he's MIA. So, speaking of M, Mathew Murder. Hey, push that on-air button there.
Yes,
there you
sir.
Go. There you go. Yes, Mathew Murder, you are the star of the show for the evening.
Surprise.
Surprise.
How you doing?
So now, do you know what you're supposed to do?
I think we're here to talk a little bit,
Yeah.
about some ghosts maybe,
Yeah.
maybe some music. You ever run out of breath doing those the lists here?
Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
True professional over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Well, our guest is chiming in already because he's been on probably more than you,
I
actually.
think so. He's got what do they call that? Experience here.
Yes, he does. And so usually I turn it over to the star of the show, and the star of the show introduces our guest. So go for it.
As far as I know, this is paranormal investigator Dean Thompson with us here today. How you doing, man?
Can't complain a bit. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm just here to talk and have a good time,
Exactly.
Let people know what's going on, too. It's good. Dennis knows everything going on.
I try.
He always does.
I try. I'm fortunate to be able to, well, what I've done is actually played with Facebook enough that my feed is full of nothing but local live music.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, if you like enough stuff and you block enough stuff, that one's important.
You have to work that algorithm, right?
Yeah, and pretty soon, I know that Mathew Murder is playing at Chez Maryland
Yes, sir.
this weekend.
Yep.
And maybe it got to me slower, but I seem to think that was just announced here in the last day or two.
Oh, I maybe slacked a little getting the event out there, but I knew about it a couple weeks before. But
Okay.
to come on to that, Rocket, the new owner there at Chez Maryland's, has been letting me play there like last couple months or so, and actually, honestly, it's been for 2 hours, and the first time I did it was my first 2-hour gig. I wasn't sure if I could fill that. Ended up only playing one song twice, I think, so that was pretty good. And that's not too bad, in that hour or two the audience changes up on you, people filter in and out. But they've been doing pretty good for me, I think. Had my stomping out grounds at the conservatory I was telling Dean earlier. But now it seems like I've kind of been at Chez Maryland's new home or whatever. But
Yeah, I've seen you down there a few times, and yeah, good going. And I don't know if you know this, but I haven't actually looked into the stats, but I think your video when you were on is the most viewed video of the year.
That's awesome to hear, because I went through Messenger and sent it to almost everybody I know, like, check this out, because I know a lot of people didn't catch it on the radio, which is fine, but some people did too. People sent me videos of that, and I was like, that's awesome, you know. Really tried to let them know I was going to be on it. So
well, that's really cool, and I think you pointed out what's important for all of us, and that is if we share each other's stuff and we support each other, everyone benefits.
Oh yeah, you got to have that community, this music community, everything, and I got to work that algorithm like you've done, because like last weekend I was like, what am I going to do? Because it seemed like I didn't know anything what was going on, and then I don't know. Speaking of Psychedelic Symphony, I wanted to shout John Scanlon out, because he's who really got me in there at Shea Maryland's. He brought me in on a benefit there for the Owls, the overnight warming locations, a couple months ago. We did that, and then I talked to Rocket, or we had all gotten in conversation, whatever, and then Rocket had me start playing there. So thank you, John Scanlon.
And once again, all of us working together. And speaking of that, now we must work with Mr. Dean Thompson about his events this weekend, and it's right at the top of your list. Have you checked your list out?
I'm checking it out.
That list is at cottonmouth.org. And you were talking about I wasn't sure what was going on. That's where you go now.
I'm going to take this with me, I think, too.
Okay.
But yeah, Cottonmouth, they got it all, man.
Well,
Definitely. I love that. I can actually look up, hey, I want to see, I haven't seen this band in years. I'm going to go see them.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
yeah, I try to spend a lot of time on that, and where I really benefit from that algorithm is, the bands that post a lot, I obviously see, and so they get on the list. But most importantly for the bands, the venues that actually advertise shows
Yes.
are real easy for me to find.
Well, one of the big things, especially when you get onto Facebook, is you'll see that I am interested in 15 things this weekend. Every time you sit down, and for people that don't know this, if you put you're interested in an event, it automatically puts it out to everybody. Hey, Dean's interested in X. And I do that for bands. I work for Haunted Alton with Troy Taylor. I do it for all of his events. It just puts the events out there in front of people. And you've got to support each other or we're not going to be around.
Oh, Troy Taylor, he sells out on the regular
He does.
for those things. He does a great job.
My group does the ghost hunting end of that. So if there's a ghost hunt that he has, chances are my group is hosting it.
And where are you going to be Friday night? It's the Masons.
The Alton Masonic Lodge in Uptown Alton.
We had wrestling there.
They have wrestling there. We had a trunk or treat there last week,
Yeah.
and gentleman out of Godfrey brought a vehicle called the Ecto 66 there, or the 66 Ecto, excuse me.
Okay.
And it's a copy of Ecto 1 from Ghostbusters that he's built himself that is just fantastic. First time we had it out was in Jerseyville, and people were stopping in the street. Hey, can I take a picture with that?
Yeah.
Sure, of course.
That's awesome.
I seen it sitting out there. So you're with Midwest Paranormal Investigators Consortium. I can never say that.
Correct. It's a mouthful. That's why we call ourselves MPIC.
MPIC.
Correct.
I think Pigpen would have a joke there.
Oh, he would.
Oh, yeah.
You know he would.
Go ahead, Matthew.
There's this medicine I see on TV, Ozempic. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. So, your organization, when you do these investigations, any money you raise goes into restoring historic buildings.
Exactly. We started it was kind of a weird thing. Somebody approached me from the Madison County Historical Society and said, "Hey, would you mind doing a benefit for us?" Sure. Well, we did that, and we found out, oh man, this really helped them. And then we were contacted by somebody else, and it's turned into, right now we're working for about 7 or 8 organizations, and we're still looking at other ones. Historic buildings right now, I mean, Mr. Simmons is buying a lot of them in Alton, doing things with them, but right now a lot of people aren't doing anything with historic buildings, and historic societies are trying to raise money any way they can. And you know what? I like old buildings. I'm kind of an old soul in that way. So that was something that when we started this, we decided to try and do.
So this building, not the actual building itself, but the Masonic Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
How much history do you know about the Masonic Lodge?
There were actually 2 Masonic lodges in
That's
Alton.
right.
And
Good start.
And believe it or not, the Masonic Lodge is a religious organization, and they split because of a difference in religions.
Oh.
So you had the one downtown Alton, and then the one in uptown Alton.
Okay, so this one, the Franklin Masonic Lodge, number 25, was chartered in 1836, and that's the oldest Masonic Lodge in Illinois. Did
Correct.
you know that? Yeah. And it's known for its long history of community involvement, including education and charity, and after a fire destroyed the original building in 1860, they rebuilt where they are now.
Well, the one uptown was built in the 20s.
Yeah, 1930 is when.
Or 1930.
Yeah, and and that's on Washington Avenue and Edwards Street there.
And if you've never been in it, it's the craziest building I've ever been in. You look at it from the outside and you see this building, yeah, it's a building. You go in there, the place is huge. I couldn't believe it the first time I went in there. It's like, oh my God, I didn't know the building was this big.
Is that something everybody can go in? Is it public? I wasn't exactly sure.
The hunt that we're doing tomorrow night, it's $40. Anybody can come. We are hosting the event, raising money for them. You pay your $40. You can go in. If you just want to walk around and look around, that's fine. If you want to come downstairs and talk ghost stories with the people that are there, you can do that. Or if you want to investigate, we have equipment that you can borrow and go out and investigate.
Oh, cool.
So everybody's welcome at these things. You don't have to be somebody that's on TV to come to our events.
Right, right.
So what do you do? Just show up?
Show up and give them $40 at the door.
Okay. Because is there any place to like reserve your spot?
We did. Last year I did something on Facebook with Eventbrite, and I did one of my charity things. I thought, this is the way I'm going to do it because everybody pays and it goes in. Well, I should take that back. The first year we did it with Madison County Historical Society down at Mineral Springs. It worked out great. This year I did it to benefit my Alton Moose. We didn't get our money till July for an October event. So this year we're just pay at the door.
Yeah, there you go.
It took so long to get the money, and I don't know what the holdup was, but it took forever to get the money, so I just decided this year I'm going to do it this way.
So is this charity going to the Alton Moose then?
No, this one is just going to the Masonic Lodge on Friday night.
Okay.
And then Saturday night we have the one in Jerseyville at the Odd Fellows, which, by the way, has next door to it a building that we're also using is the original Masonic Lodge in Jerseyville.
Oh.
There you go.
So,
Two
I
for
mean-
one.
So we got to ask him, are you a Mason?
No, I'm not. I'm a moose.
You're
We have
moose,
a bar.
obviously. Well, I'm a water buffalo.
No,
Me and Fred Flintstone.
it's an old joke with the guys at the Mason Lodge. They're like, are you going to join? No, I'm a moose. We have a bar. And then I just leave it at that.
So, yeah, some controversy at the Moose recently. A little embezzlement going on.
No, that
there.
was actually not us.
Oh, that wasn't you.
That
A
wasn't
different
us.
Moose.
That was the Owls.
The Owls. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
somebody
I did
walked
that
out
off
with
the
a
top,
bunch of
sorry.
money.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had 3 or 4 people ask me, what happened out there? No, it wasn't us.
So back to the Masonic Lodge,
Uh-huh.
which you'll be investigating. You know, as soon as I hear Masonic Lodge, the first thing that pops in my mind is eyes wide open,
I think of National Treasure.
right? Where them weird parties happen,
You know,
with checkered
that's-
floors and
It's not weird, but they do have their traditions. I mean, just like any other lodge. And the people that are there love the place.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people always ask me, why is that place haunted? I mean, it's a Masonic Lodge. You have to think back in the 20s, 30s, 40s when they started in these. There was no therapy. There were no support groups. This was your support group. This was your therapy.
Right.
And the people that joined these lodges loved the place.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's a big part of it.
you know,
Lots
me,
of energy there for that to be left
For-
behind.
Exactly. And the people that are there are going to be Masons. It's not like you're going to go in there and find random people there.
Yeah, your average person.
Well, it's like a secret place, though. That's why people start making up their own stories.
It is, and it's funny.
They love to have their rumors. That's why you get asked about the Moose Lodge. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's funny that you say that because I was talking to the worshipful master there, or
See,
the one that was.
even that sounds
I know.
creepy. I'm just saying.
Well, I used to say the
A little-
president, and he'd always correct me. So just in the,
a little culty maybe.
Yeah.
He's actually the treasurer now, but we were talking about that, and he kind of chuckled and said, "You want to see any of the Mason stuff? Just go on YouTube. It's all out there. Every
is.
bit of it is now."
Totally.
So it's not real secret.
Yeah, I wrote a song about the Illuminati, the secret society that everyone knows.
Yeah.
The irony there.
Yeah. So 1836, when it was chartered, had 8 members.
Right.
So what do you know? Was like these 8 guys that broke off from the other lodge, or was it the other way around?
No.
Everyone left and these 8 guys were left?
No, the breakup came later on. And
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly when it was.
I'm curious now because it wasn't in my notes.
But the Masonic Lodge uptown, when it opened, they had the one downtown and they had the one uptown. And from what I was told, there were religious differences. They don't want to talk about that too much. I mean,
Right. So 1848, the lodge purchased a building and opened a school within it. And, so that's where they tie into education. In 1860, it was destroyed by a fire, right?
Correct.
And, Masons worked together and they rebuilt. I mean, how does a big concrete building burn, though?
It happens all the time.
Really?
I imagine they kind of explode, right? The concrete heats up and breaks.
Everything inside burns and you're just left with a shell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what it was, but, I wanted to bring it up. So then 1930 is when the current building was established or built or something to that effect. Very famous member, though, of this
Really?
Masonic
Yes.
Lodge. Yes.
And there's a whole room dedicated to him. It's
Really?
Robert Wadlow.
Really?
Yeah, there is a room there. We have there's a replica of his ring. There's one of his shoes is there. They have his chair in there, which as a child in Alton growing up, that was always a field trip we took, and every kid got in the chair and they said, okay, go ahead and sit back, and they'd laugh at when we fell down because it was so massive. But he was a member there for a couple of years before he passed.
Yeah, it says here that he was raised, see that part there's kind of creepy already, raised to Master Mason on his 21st birthday in 1933.
Correct.
And then he was actually an official member in 1939. So what was going on for 6 years there? It seems like he was already in 33.
He was involved in moving all the treasure that they had. You've seen it on National Treasure. He was involved in moving that before he could come back and do it. That was part of his Mason. No, kidding.
Well, you had me going there for a minute because I told you I had a story about Robert Wadlow. This is something I've been looking into for a while now. You go back like I do.
Mm-hmm.
You ever, like, back in the 80s, go visit his grave?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Do you remember that it was kind of a mound?
It still is.
Now, I just went there, and it wasn't.
Oh, really?
It was flat. So I'm trying to figure out what happened to the mound because it stuck out in my head as a kid. This is the craziest grave ever.
And the reason, you know why it was a mound, don't you?
Well, I've got my suspicions. It probably has something to do with giants buried in Cahokia.
Well, no. Actually, it was
no.
It was a mound.
Who's paying you?
Hey, part of this ghost hunting thing is
money.
learning your history. I hang out with Troy Taylor all the time, so you have to learn all the history of Alton.
I read a lot of giant stories.
But the thing was, they were so afraid of somebody stealing his body. After they put him in the vault and closed the vault, they poured concrete on top of it.
Oh, is that what it was?
Okay.
That's why the huge mound was there.
Then how'd they flatten it? Because
That's what I
seriously,
wanna
it's
know.
flattened now. That's
the
where
last
my
time
mind
I
is.
was there was probably 3 or 4 years ago. I took somebody there just to see it, and it was
Okay.
still a mound then.
Okay, well, maybe I was looking at a different Robert Wadlow.
I don't think so. I mean,
It happened
That's
around the
what I-
time we got the sinkhole. It all just went down under.
It could have been
that
it,
yeah.
for sure. Now I'm going to have to go back.
Okay.
I have to go back because I want to say it's been like maybe 2 or 3 years since I've been there.
I took a group, and I'm trying to think. It was right before COVID. I took somebody from out of town out there to see it because they wanted to see it. I always take people to the Elijah Lovejoy grave in the Upper Alton Cemetery.
Which is, to me, the greatest hero in the history of...
Agreed. I
free
couldn't
speech.
agree more. But they wanted to see that too, and so I said, okay, so we drove out there. Cemeteries are a great place to find history. I mean,
Not just history. Things you like to look for.
well,
Oh, yeah.
there are haunted graveyards, and yes, Upper Alton Cemetery we have gotten some things out of. But honestly, just walking through the cemetery doing a Voices of the Past, there's a huge marker up there for people that died on the Lusitania from Alton, which I had no clue anybody died on the Lusitania from
You're
Alton.
talking about the vintage voices that the Alton Little
Exactly.
Theater does. Yeah, that's
and
a great thing.
it's one of those things that was kind of weird to learn, but in doing what I do, I know it sounds creepy that I'm going to say, hey, I like hanging out in graveyards, but there's so much history.
You know what's great,
there.
though, Dean? This is the time of year to be creepy, so just creep out,
Yeah, I can be
man.
creepy
Yeah,
this
it's
time of
Halloween.
year. Starting November 2nd, I'm weird again.
But yeah, so anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're fine.
Yeah, so but you got a new organization.
We
that
are
you're
starting.
You broke some news last time we were here, so break some more news here.
Well, we are starting a new organization the first part of November called AURA, A-U-R-A. And the whole goal of AURA is to preserve historic buildings. And the first one we're looking into, we're in the process of obtaining the 518 building in Jerseyville, which is a very historic building up there. It won't be called 518 anymore. 518 was the restaurant. But it's a historic building up there that's been kind of sitting empty for a while. It is a venue that I ghost hunted at several times. But we used to do a thing up there called Wine and Spirits. And what it was is we'd have a big dinner up there. The wine company would come in and, you know, you would get to sample wine, which has never been one of my favorite things to spit out alcohol, but that's neither here nor there. But we would go there and investigate. We would show our evidence, and it would be during a dinner, and people absolutely loved it. So I kind of got a nice relationship with that particular building. And the opportunity came that a good friend of mine, the person that I started the consortium with, talked to the owner, and the owner wants to get rid of it, and we're looking right now at obtaining it and fixing it back up so that we can do things there again.
Okay.
Would that be like base of operations for you type thing, or?
It probably, yeah, it would be once it gets started.
Right.
But, you know, there's work to be done because it is an old building.
Yeah.
But it's funny, Jerseyville is really starting to embrace haunted things up there.
Okay.
Whereas, you know, I've lived in Alton my whole life, and our venues in Alton are closing down. The people in Jerseyville are kind of jumping up and down. You have where we're going to be the first, which is the Oddfellows Lodge, which is a haunted venue that you can actually rent. We're going to put 518 into that. The Cheney Mansion has been there for years.
Mm-hmm.
Cheney Mansion's one of the first places we ghost hunted years and years ago. And that's owned by the Jerseyville Historical Society, the Jersey County Historical Society. And they pretty much run the society based on what they make off of the ghost hunting in that building. It sounds funny when you first bring up, oh yeah, we're going to raise money ghost hunting, but there's money involved in it, and it raises money for people.
Well, there's obviously like interest in it. You know, Mick Pike Mansion, they just did a bed and breakfast recently, I think it was. I had seen pictures on Facebook or whatever, and seemed like there was a decent amount of people. They're like in the cellar or whatever, and just like on air mattresses throughout the living room or whatever it was and stuff.
Sharon does a great job with that, and she's done a tremendous job fixing it up over the last few years.
Have you investigated there
Yes,
before?
I have.
Okay, I figured.
It's she has done so much with that building, and it is every day. If I follow her on Facebook, every day it seems like they're doing this or doing that.
They're restoring it, right?
And they're in the process of restoring it.
Right.
And I mean, when I saw it 3-4 years ago, it was absolutely awful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, there's no way you can do it. And she has come so far. I mean, there's a long way to go, but it's so much better than it was.
Right, they're redoing entire structural parts of it,
Oh,
you know,
definitely.
making sure it stands for a lot longer, you know.
And these historic buildings always have good bones. It's just the roof, you know, when I was in there, she had a leak in the roof, and there was an express from the top floor all the way to the basement just from that leak in the roof. And that's what that happens to these historic buildings. It's not necessarily the bones that fall, it's everything that goes on the interior.
Everything around.
I mean, starting always with the roof. Always roof problems.
Now, when you say bones, you're obviously talking about skeletons.
Yeah, exactly.
Spooky.
Yeah. Actually, you say that. Oddfellows has a skeleton in it. Every Oddfellows Lodge has a skeleton in it of one of their first members.
Really?
Yeah, how's that one for fun?
Well,
Man,
I'm
I'm
trying to
learning.
think of the legalities of that.
I've been in, I think 3. This will be the 3rd one I've actually investigated, and every one of them has had a skeleton in it.
And that's something.
Now, I have not seen the one in this Oddfellows Lodge, but there's a little bed and breakfast down in Missouri, outside of Kearney, Missouri, that it's called the Belvoir Winery now. But it was an original Oddfellows Lodge, and they still have a room of Oddfellows stuff. And the skeleton, you walk in there, and there's a skeleton in the case.
Wow.
And everybody's like, "Is that real?" "Oh yeah, that's real." Yeah.
Now, do you have to be an organ donor for that?
Not really, but tissue only.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just one of those funny things about, you know, every organization has a different tradition.
Yeah. And I'm sitting here thinking of the legalities of that because I don't think that's illegal anymore.
Probably not. I mean, I've not heard anybody say, you know, I think I'm going to take my skeleton and.
So I think that skeleton And each of these lodges is probably very old.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. But Oddfellows has been around a long time too, right?
Correct.
So I got a little bit of history on the Oddfellows, but we'll get into that in a second because we're talking about the Franklin Lodge here in Alton that you're doing tomorrow night, right?
Correct.
What time's that start?
7 p.m.
7 o'clock. Just show up. What if you get there at 7:30? Are you late?
Okay, I'm just going to put this out there. We're not going to turn away your money.
Okay. So you can start showing up at 7 and
If somebody shows up at 7:30 and says, "Hey, I want to give you guys, there's two of us. We're going to give you $80 to go." Thanks.
Right.
Lodge appreciates it.
Come one, come all.
But I was wondering, like, you guys are already underway investigating by that point, I would imagine.
Well, we don't actually investigate. You investigate.
Okay.
Now, if you want us to come out with you, if you say, "Hey, you know what? We're not getting anything. Can you come out and help us out?"
Okay.
We'll be happy to. But it's your investigation. It's not ours.
And you provide the devices.
We
and
do
stuff
have
you need?
devices you can use.
You ever do a ghost hunt?
No, I can't say I have. I do have a little story, though. Speaking of Milton,
Does it involve murder?
I
Matthew?
got that dropped to a manslaughter.
Okay.
Yeah, Pigpen hooked me up with his lawyers.
Red rum.
Well, he has good ones, I'm sure.
So no, this had to be 2-3 years ago. Milton Schoolhouse after one of the Halloween parties, and which those are awesome, by the way. I'm hoping to go to
They
that.
got one this
after.
weekend, yeah.
Yep. And so, anyways, we're hanging out in the gymnasium. It's like 2 a.m. or something, and it's super dark. They got like stuff all in the gym. It's not exactly cleaned out yet, but I knew somebody that lived there, and we're hanging out. And so there's the gymnasium, and then there's a stage at the end of it, and we're hanging out on that stage after we had just checked out the practice room they've got back there for the bands. Anyways, long story short, we're hanging out on that stage, and there's these windows all the way across the gymnasium, and none of us know what we saw, but something scurried real quick across those windows, and we're all just like, what the heck, man? But that's about probably my only ghost story, nothing like super crazy, but we were all a little spooked, just hanging out, 10 people in this gym at 2 a.m. and in a supposedly very haunted building, so...
I could tell you a lot of stories about that. Mavis Coffee Shop, my group and another group basically funded the original Mavis Coffee Shop through ghost hunts there.
Right on.
And actually, the stage there is one of the most haunted places in the building.
And we were right on it.
There is a spot on the stage where we would have a group up there and we'd have them line up, and there's one little spot we'd always put a younger girl. And 3 different times they just burst out crying. And it's like, okay, why are you crying? And they had no idea why they were crying. All they could say is, I just feel so sad. So
Right.
there's somebody there that portrays he puts off his energy of sadness to him that affects young girls enough that they start crying.
That is wild.
But yeah, that used to be one of my favorite places to ghost hunt.
It's and it's a big place, too. I could see getting lost in there at dark, and then you're by yourself. It would be a little creepy, especially like it is Halloween time, I think like as it gets closer to this time, people have that in their mind subconsciously.
Exactly.
Oh, things go bump in the night, it's you kind of have that on your mind. I think that something could come out and get you subconsciously.
You've sat there and we've watched all of these TV shows and everything, and your senses are just ready for it.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if it's supernatural or not. It just became supernatural.
And then that fight or flight will kick in, and people get scared.
It's also Samhain,
Very true.
right? I'm
Very
sure the Masons know a lot about
Yes,
that.
they do.
What was that?
Samhain.
See, I'm learning a lot here today. A
Well.
lot of this is new to me.
You gotta listen to some early Danzig. You'll learn a lot about Samhain. Everyone called him Sam Hain, but Samhain is a very ancient ghoulie.
I was just say entity. How would we want to describe that?
Well, fill in Matthew a little bit. What do you
Go
know
ahead.
about it?
Part your wisdom.
Just is it's an ancient. Okay, let's start with ancient beliefs.
It's a time period too, right?
It is, but ancient people had to come up with an entity for the reasoning of everything, and that's just one of them that they came up with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember the reasoning with
I don't remember exactly. I
I'm-
just remember that this time frame is Samhain.
Right.
And it goes into like early November, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And,
And it coincides with our harvest time here. And that's another thing. If you look back into pagan religions and such,
Right.
all these seasons that we have are because it's planting time or because it's harvest time.
Yeah,
and they-
based on natural occurrences.
Exactly. And, okay, we've got to worship, the god of corn so that we have good corn, or we've got to do
good
this. And that's
harvest.
where all this stuff comes in.
the God of Corn, the band.
Well, we'll leave Jonathan out of this for now.
Okay.
Although I am a monkey fan. But that's neither here nor there.
You know, I love music, so
Me too.
I got to bring up
Oh, yeah, I have no
Samhain,
problem with
Corn, since you brought them up.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, speaking of bands, let me go over what's happening
Right on.
Friday night around the River Bend. We got the Zone Art exhibit opening with featured artist Tom Blood. It's a good Halloween.
Hey, it's Halloween. Why not?
Perfect name for the time.
Uh-huh. Tyler Clayberg also, and music with Psychedelic Symphony from 6 to 9, and that's going to be at Mooneyham Arts, 305 State Street in Alton. So that's happening. Of course, the parade's happening,
Of course.
so there's a lot of like after parties.
Oh, yeah.
NGK is going to be down at Max at 6:30. You ever check out Big George
I
Brocken?
have heard Big George. I mean, talk about a set of pipes on a guy. God, he can
Exactly.
sing.
Exactly. And then we got Irish music, obviously, down at Morrison's Irish Pub. And the Buzz Tone's going to be at the Flock from 6 to 9. Halloween costume party with Jay Sabo at Bossa Nova from 7 to 9. And we got Aaron Joe down at Shea, Maryland for the after parade party there. 7-ish to about 10. And down at the conservatory, Tony and the Saints. That's Anthony Hall, Tony. And that's after the parade at the conservatory. They're going to have some music going during the conservatory. They didn't, or during the parade. They didn't mention who it was though. So that's happening on a Friday night during the parade. The parade is just, if anyone's never been to the Halloween parade, I don't think there is anybody that's never been. to the
No, I mean
Halloween
that's
parade,
that is such an Alton tradition.
For sure.
There's a little site on Facebook called You Grew Up in Alton, and all you have to do is put you went to the Halloween parade.
for sure. Yeah. And I mean, it is packed.
Always.
Yo, huge. Always. for
That's
sure.
why if you got a gig on a Friday night when the parade's going on, it's a good night for a gig.
Yeah, I would expect someone is going to pop in after somewhere. Somebody's going to go somewhere,
Yeah, yeah. So that's a good time though. What else is going on Friday night? We got obviously live drag shows down at Bubby and Sissy's. Halloween every weekend there.
That's someplace I've actually investigated is Bubby and Sissy's.
Oh, really?
Yes, and
What did
I
you find
learned-
out?
We didn't really find a lot there. We'd had a couple of the employees that went to the owners and said, "There's something going on here." What I did find out is that the amount of feathers that they have to clean up on a Monday after the shows is amazing. I mean, there were more feathers on the floor there than
I would have never thought
In a
of
chicken
that,
coop.
but-
than a chicken coop. I had dropped something on the floor and I got under one of the tables and it's like, wow, that's a lot of feathers. But yeah, if you've never seen the show, they do such a great job.
You
down
know,
there.
that's another thing, almost like the Halloween parade. Everybody's at least spent one night at
You had to
Bubby
have.
and Sissy's.
So I'm 26, but and a lot of people before they're 21 go out to bars. I didn't really do that. I didn't sneak out, so I didn't really start going out till I was 21 and 22 and whatever. But like downtown was not ever really my place till just recently. I just started going to Bubby and Sissy's. Mila Duffy's running that open mics on Mondays now. And speaking of open mics, it was just like 2-3 years ago, you'd be like pressed to find one going on. Now it's like take your pick. John Scanlon's been doing some at Shea, Maryland's. Conservatory's got theirs. Bubby and Sissy started that. So
We were
it's-
just
it's
talking
nice.
after Mila started that we named one for every night of the week. The toughest ones are on Friday and Saturday because bands are actually playing on those
You're
nights.
competing
but
there. Yep.
Stagger Inns had 'em Wednesday and Sundays
Do
forever.
you know how many times I went to the Stagger and I had a friend of mine that had a band and they would go up there and they would play every Sunday night just to try and get some exposure.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And Butch Moore's been doing some at Sneaky's Burgers right there by the Wild Eating.
right.
So, when Butch Moore's involved, it's going to be an open mic. So, Yeah, so there you go, man. We got Anthony Nanny and Money Shot at Fast Eddie's. Hookie is going to be playing out of Bakers and Hale on a Friday night in Leadfoot doing the beer barrel in Godfrey. Everybody's playing on Halloween. There's
Definitely.
places that don't normally have bands, like the Refinery in Wood River. They're going to have Flip the Frog. They do have bands from time to time, but Justice in the Experience, speaking of the Wild E, right across the street, the old corner tavern is called Stam's Last Chance Saloon. Justice in the Experience.
Drive by it every day on the way to work.
Yeah, we interviewed Justice.
They have a beautiful stag sign outside that I noticed every day I go to work. It's like,
He
man,
is the master of the ukulele experience. So, a little different, but
well, hey,
good
Eddie
times.
Vedder could tour doing a ukulele tour. Why not?
I didn't know that. Eddie
Yeah.
Vedder played the ukulele?
Oh yeah, he did a whole tour.
Wow. News to me.
Hey, it's a fun instrument. People don't take it seriously, but if you're really good at it, I mean, it's a beautiful instrument.
Yeah, it is, for sure. Nothing like some good Hawaiian music on a ukulele.
Right, get your layout and your hurley skirts.
Was that big dude that does Somewhere Under the Rainbow?
Oh yeah,
We've
I know.
all heard that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Also on Friday night, we got the Halloween parade up in Edwardsville. We got the fade outs at the backstage bar and patio in Edwardsville behind the Wild E, and then Left Hand Cowboy doing the happy hour at the Stagger, followed by Poor Dirty Astronaut from 9 until 1 a.m. at the Stagger Inn. So, hey, Matthew, I want you to take a look at this list. And I'm on Friday night.
Yep.
I want you to go down to the cabin at Judy Creek. This is what I do to Pigpen. When there's a certain one I want him to read, I want you to read The Cabin at Judy Creek.
You're on Friday, you said?
Uh-huh. So, in the meantime, Franklin Lodge, Friday night.
Friday night. We
Right.
don't have a live band.
Just show up about 7 o'clock. They'll hand you like a cat ball.
I'm not seeing it.
The greatest cheap ghost hunting tool ever.
It is. And you talked about that the last time you were in. You're not seeing it?
No, I'm not seeing it.
Oh, man.
That might be because I can't read, but...
Oh, okay.
Oh, here we go. You want me to read that band name? That's what you want me to do?
Yeah, that's what I want you to do.
Oh, make me take the bullet, eh?
Well, if you read it, no one's going to know how it's spelled.
True that. We got the Lucky Horseshoes, 7 to 11 p.m. at the cabin at Judy Creek in Glen Carbon.
That's spelled with a W.
With a W.
Yes, indeed.
With a W.
See, I always kick one to Pigpen so he can name stuff too. So.
Keep him on his toes.
Yep, for sure. And we're just touching the bases there a little bit as we have music all through the River Bend up in Grafton all weekend long, and Granite City as well. So, yeah, get out there and support some local music and art. We were talking about the Milton School. They've got their big party going down on Saturday. And that's with Inner City Witches.
Yep, they just came out with an album. The Law Is Not in Heaven. They're a pretty good like heavy punk band. We've played a few. Nico played a few shows with them, and they're cool people. Music's really good. Check them out.
I'm saying most of these bands on this list I've seen Nico listed with here. Hideous Gentlemen, you ever play with them?
Yeah, I believe so at Conservatory. Yep. And
Right.
I mean, I know Jared and Rob and those guys. They
Everybody
just had
knows
their
Jared.
10-year not
Yeah,
too long ago.
For sure. It played up at the Post Commons.
Yep,
And
that
of
was
course,
great.
he has the music store right there next to the Conservatory.
Yep, Alt Music Exchange. Check them out.
That's right. We got Olive, Silver Material, which is one of my favorite local bands.
Shout out to Wyrus. Yep,
Yep.
they work at Mavis there.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of working at Mavis, also in Silver Material, shareholder.
Yep. See, Ian's in there.
Mm-hmm. He's
I know all those guys, man.
He's
We've
the
hung out.
brewmaster, Ian Whitmore.
He's the what?
The brewmaster at the coffee shop. He cooks the beans.
Oh, that's right. I thought you said broom master.
That's what I thought he said too.
Well, on Halloween maybe.
Yeah,
it is Halloween.
He might be a little bit of a witch.
How about Goo Man? You know them?
Goo Man, I've heard the name, but are they at STL?
I don't know.
I haven't
That's-
heard.
that's
I've
why I
heard
asked
the name.
you. And then Danny Jones opening up.
Can't say I've heard of him.
So I know Davy Jones. He's no longer with us.
No.
It'd be cool to like do an investigation of the Monkeys mansion.
Well, you know,
Yeah, get
I'm up for anything. I mean,
if they'll let you do it, right?
well, yeah.
Trick question. Not really. It's trivia. Mike Nesmith's mother. You know what she invented?
Was it Post-its or it was either Post-its or correction fluid? I can't remember which one it was. Whiteout.
Yeah, there you go.
I knew it was one of the two.
So we got wrestling at the Franklin Lodge on Saturday.
Yes.
So you're going to investigate it.
And then we're going to let them come in there.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm not a wrestling fan, but they do such a great job. If you've never seen one of their shows, they do great jobs with it, and they have a huge fan base. And I will say this: it's just as fun watching the fans as it is watching the wrestling.
That's exactly
reactions.
what we
Oh,
say.
they get so into it. I mean, it's
Hyped up.
awesome. I mean, you know,
That's exactly what we say every time we have them on.
yeah, they're just
That if you're not into wrestling, go watch the crowd because it's unbelievable. Pigpen always tells a story about Lydia, who now produces our videos, but she was a little bitty, and we took them to a wrestling event, and watching her like talk trash with the wrestlers
Oh, yeah.
was just side-splitting funny.
It's great. And, you know, you've got to love people that are that committed to something like that and they're that into it. I mean, that's what makes the world go round.
So we got that happening at the Masonic Lodge on Saturday night. Cat Daddies is even having music right next to Mathew Murder at Shea Maryland's from 7 to 9 on Saturday. You can also check out Carrie Lee from 3 to 6 and Backwoods Burden from 7 to 10 if you can get away from the Mathew Murder show.
You won't.
I don't think you will.
No, you'll be.
I've got I started bringing lights and a fog machine so people can't actually find their way out.
That's even better. I mean, you know, confusion is great.
I'm doing my own haunted mansion or the haunted house, whatever. You know?
Yeah.
There's some really good food there too.
Yes.
Oh, it is. It's pretty good, man. I've had the shrimp Cajun pasta there. I've had some of the pork nachos. Good stuff. Calamari.
So also happening on Saturday, Agent 99 out of Bakers and Hale, Flip the Frog, doing their second night of a Halloween party. They'll be at the Sunset Grill, where they should probably play that Eagles song.
Oh, you think?
I would think.
That, and you know what? I like the Sunset Grill for seeing bands. It's
Yeah.
it's a neat little place.
Yeah,
I mean,
and they
it's-
don't do it that often. So.
No, but it's big enough that you can have a band in there and they can play and you can still talk.
And then Tracy Inman Band's going to be at the Pump House in Wood River, one of our favorite stories that we've told here on Riverbend Talent is Tracy Inman's story. He didn't know how to play anything, got a hold of a studio, AOK Studios, down in Nashville, and just started throwing some lyrics around with the producer, and next thing you know, he's got an album out. He's actually on Touch Tunes with
Yeah.
it. Got
cool.
nominated for a Grammy. So, and it's all hard work that got all that done, but
Yeah, how about that for a come-up story?
yeah, it's a great story. So he's going to be playing with his band now that he's formed, and he's learned to play a little bit. So, yeah, they're down at the Pump House at 9 o'clock, and that brings us to the event I wanted to talk to you about, the Midwest Paranormal Investigators at the Odd Fellows Lodge in Jerseyville on Saturday. And what can you tell us about that, Dean?
It is, we actually have two buildings that we're using. We're using the building next door also, which is the original Masonic Lodge in Jerseyville. It is a very nicely haunted building. Once more, the money's going to go completely to the Odd Fellows so that they can, I mean, it helps support their building.
What is the Odd Fellows for folks?
I'm sorry?
Tell us about the Odd Fellows. What is that
Odd
organization?
Fellows split off, I believe, from the Masons, if I remember correctly. They got their name because they did charity work and asked for nothing.
Okay.
And somebody would say, they're a bunch of odd fellows. That's actually how they got their name.
Little nickname that stuck.
Correct. They're another organization. I know that the Odd Fellows up there, and they're very quiet about it. They do not go out and advertise what they do. But I know that if a family had a fire up there, they would help the family out. And they do all kinds of great charity work, but they do it on the down low.
The Independent Order of Odd Fellows, the official name, IOOF.
Right.
I'm not sure how you would say that, but
IOF.
IOF.
I don't know if it's ever been said before, but it is now.
Hey, they stretch back in Jerseyville to the mid-19th century.
Right.
That sounds like someone stubbing their toe or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I've said that before.
Yeah.
So in 1851, members of the Oddfellows erected their first hall on North Main Street, and that was funded by stock subscriptions. And then the lodge eventually brought all the shares to gain full ownership of the building, and later replaced by the Warren Wiseman Dry Goods House. So that's 1851. 1871, the Oddfellows moved into the 3-story brick building on West Pearl Street.
Which is where it is now.
Okay. The lodge owned the top floor, which served as its hall, while the lower 2 stories were owned by B.C. Vandervoort.
Correct.
Who's that guy?
That I don't know.
You don't
but
know.
I can tell you now, they now occupy the top 2 floors.
Okay.
So they have 2 floors there now.
So in 1888, the lodge constructed another building for its chapter. The ground floor was rented to the U.S. Post Office until 1924. And the upstairs served as the headquarters of the local draft board during World War I.
Now that I did not know.
So, hey, this is AI, by the way, so it could be false.
Well, we'll go with it.
I had to give my sources.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that AI guy's usually pretty sharp.
So what else here? So 1922, the lodge purchased the former Calvin St. Sinclair mansion at 817 Main Street to use it as a hall. The building was later razed in 1972 and is now the location of a liquor store.
Correct. I know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
And when we talk about what we do, we're trying to keep buildings from being razed as opposed. I mean, you can still put in the liquor store somewhere else, but we're trying to keep these historic buildings standing and have some use to them.
I think we've got plenty of the liquor stores anyways. But,
Yes, 100%.
So here's a little piece I found: the misconceptions
Uh-oh.
and local context. Active lodge, not abandoned. Unlike many supposedly haunted Oddfellows buildings, the Jerseyville Lodge is not an abandoned asylum or orphanage.
No, it is not.
In 2023, the lodge was still active, which
Still
means it's
is.
still active, right? And the building has also housed businesses like the post office and the home instead.
Now, is that just woo-to-woo that people think that? Like, they just talk or whatever?
These organizations, the Masons, the Oddfellows, and even my organization, the Moose, people don't join them like they used to, so they just think they're not there. Until they actually have some kind of event where you see them out in the public, people just think it's closed.
Right.
You look at lodges, any kind of lodge these days has about 10 to 15 really active members that do absolutely everything for you. And like I said, the Oddfellows have always done it without fanfare. So if you don't see them actually out there, you're not going to know they're there. And it's on the second floor. It's kind of an odd building. It's kind of in a weird place, and I didn't know it was even there until we got the phone call from them, and they asked if we could help them out. Mm-hmm. And it's like, there's an Oddfellows Lodge up there. I didn't even know that, so we drove, and I'm driving. It's like, what is this? And we get to a big building there, and you just see a little thing out front that shows it's the Oddfellows Lodge. There's no big signs or anything like that.
See, now that's a secret society right
Yeah,
there.
they're a secret from me. But the only thing I warn people on, if they do come to this particular one, is the stairs. The stairs are very steep there.
Yeah, so maybe don't come in costume.
Don't come in costume. High heels definitely out.
Last time we tried to get people to come as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, I'd seen that in the previous interview. You were like, I wouldn't recommend dressing up because you're going to be hot and moving around and all that stuff. So
It's
dusty.
dirty.
Yeah, these are old buildings, as I always say. People used to come to Mineral Springs when we do tours down there, and they'd go down in the pool in their nice clothes. It's like, are you looking around here? This is 3 inches of dust. Nobody's dusting down here.
Yeah, just caked from years and years.
From years and years and years.
But if you want to do Sherlock Holmes, bring your magnifying glass, you know.
You can dress however you want to. You're on your own, though. I'm just giving you warning.
I'm bringing some people from Bubby and Sissy's.
I don't care. Hey, it might get something started.
Probably feathers.
I mean, hey,
Be a lot of feathers.
Anything to get a reaction. And that's the big thing with what we do when we're investigating. People come in and they want to always ask, okay, how did you die? Okay, well, let's discuss the most traumatic thing that ever happened. I mean, the guy that got impaled by a forklift and dropped into a vat of acid really doesn't want to discuss this. So you try and talk on a human level. Okay.
Bet he looked like Freddy Krueger.
Oh, I'm sure. But you talk on a human level, what's your favorite food? What'd you have for dinner tonight? By saying that, all the different people with all their different backgrounds come in there. It can trigger things and make things go.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you brought in 3 of the performers from Bubby and Sissy's, I'd let them perform and see what happens.
I would imagine around Halloween it gets a little goofier when you're doing these investigations because everyone's kind of in the spirit of spirits, if you know what I'm talking about.
It is.
And you're trying to scare each other a little. So, I mean,
we don't do that, but I have seen it done.
And let's maybe build up to those questions, ask them about their favorite food first before about how they died.
I never ask anybody how they die. I just think that's kind of, I think it's kind of rude, and who wants to talk about that?
Yeah.
I mean, I always say, imagine you're dead and somebody's communicating to you and you're finally talking to somebody and they go, how'd you die? And you want to go, oh, great, now I got to discuss this. Really? Well, I actually slipped on the roof, fell down, cracked my head. Nobody wants to talk about that.
The worst moment of their life.
Yeah, this is the
last moment.
The worst last moment of your life. Nobody wants to talk about that.
And you really don't have that kind of conversation with an entity anyways. It's more like single words and different sounds that you might pick up on some of your equipment, right?
There is. I mean, I use a lot of what they call spirit boxes. And what a spirit box is you take an AM, FM radio, and especially the old Radio Shack ones are the best for this. You can manipulate them so that they scan continuously, okay? And what you're listening to you can hear as it's going through the stations. You'll hear the blips as it goes through the stations. You're looking for things that go over 4 or 5 station, words that go over that. If you get 3 to 4 words in a row like that go together, you're doing something. Now, there's a friend of mine that is building a machine. He's out of Indiana, and if this thing ever gets off the ground, I heard it at Mineral Springs, and it was amazing. We were getting full sentences.
Wow.
And
I think the night we investigated the Stratford, we got at least 2 or 3 words in a row a couple times.
Yeah.
And I'm always a bit suspicious of those because what if we're just picking up a radio station or something, so.
Which I can tell you stories about having people out, and I had a woman out one night.
But it's different.
Right.
Is the only way I can put it. It's not something you would hear on the radio when you hear it.
Well, I had a woman one night that we had nothing, and there was nothing coming through the radio, and all of a sudden she started yelling, Dad, Dad, I hear you. And I thought, well, unless Dad's an AM disc jockey, I don't think you hear him, but
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you listen for things that go over several different stations.
Right.
Is how you do that. And the other thing is you have to record it and listen to it again. Because that thing's going, as you heard, 100 miles an hour. And yes, you can pick up about half of what's said.
Mm-hmm.
So your buddy working in Indiana on his machine, how does that work? Is that just like not aggravating spirits or
no,
EVPs
no.
you called them?
It's just, well, EVPs are electronic voice phenomena.
Okay, I just remember that from your last interview.
And basically what that is for anybody that doesn't know is when you record, their speech is at a different sound level than what you can hear.
Right.
But when you record them and play it back, you can hear it. Right now, the reason he hasn't got it, it's called Prism. The reason it hasn't got off the ground is it takes 2 laptops to run it. So, I mean, nobody wants to buy 2 laptops and send them to him and, try and carry those around. But when he used that, the direct answers to direct questions was amazing. Troy has taken over a museum from a gentleman by the name of Dave that had it before.
We love that museum.
Yes. When Dave had it,
Oddities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave was there for a long time, and Dave was very much in touch with the spirits there.
Now Dave's not here.
Dave's not here.
Dave's not here, man.
So when he started using the Prism, one of the first things that came out of it, and I mean it's very clear, was where's Dave? And
there's a band called Where's Dave?
There should be.
There is.
And there's probably one called Dave's Not Here.
A local band, yeah.
But somebody said, well, Dave isn't here anymore. And I mean, as soon as they got that out of their mouth, you heard, can you call him? So, I mean, the direct answers and the phrases that came out of that were just so phenomenal. And I can't tell you how it works. I mean, Matt's a friend of mine, but he's kind of explained it to me. But, you know, you might as well talk trigonometry to me because it just went way over my head.
Gotcha.
All right, so I remember doing an investigation with you, and I don't know what it's called, so remind me. Someone puts on headphones. They're listening to something.
Correct.
I forget exactly what it is.
It's called the Estes method.
And then we stand around and ask questions to the person with the headphones who couldn't hear us.
Exactly. They're using a spirit box.
And they just respond to our questions. And sometimes it's direct. And
It's very direct.
Wild, spooky.
It's called the Estes method. It was formed in Estes, Colorado at the Stanley Hotel. And what it is you're listening to the spirit box wearing a set of noise-canceling headphones, so you cannot hear any of the questions that are coming. And you just, whatever you hear on the spirit box, you just blurt out. A lot of times it's just they're hearing words on a station. I don't never use AM on that because KMOX plays everywhere. Okay. So, I mean, you know, you get every Cardinal's name. But
you get the big Z, too.
Yes, you do.
1570.
Especially if we're sitting here doing it, because it's like, you know, next door.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you want a good story about an Estes method, I'm going to give you my funniest story about it. We were in a place called the Rhodes Hotel, and it's in Atlanta, Indiana, which if you've never been to Atlanta, Indiana, you're like 99% of the entire world because it's tiny. But the Rhodes Hotel was an old whistle stop, but it was also at one time a brothel that John Dillinger frequented because the police department there, it's well known, was very corrupt at the time. So, but we were sitting in there, we were doing the Estes method, and I had this nice young lady who's a retired teacher from Chicago, just a bubbly, cute individual. And a friend of mine was saying, okay, what do you get for $2 here? And she's not really saying anything, not really responding. And I took a $20 bill out of my pocket and I set it down on the floor. I said, what do I get for that? And this woman just giggles and she goes, I have no idea what this means, but nipples.
Wow.
So I found out for $20 in Atlanta, Indiana, you get nipples.
Okay.
So, you know, but that's the Estes method. It's most of the time what you say is random.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and then you get that exact answer for something like that, and you just go, whoa, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen it happen with my own eyes. I've seen the cat balls light up, you know, and we didn't really get into that in the last interview, but literally you throw a cat ball out there, you know, the little balls cats play with it, light up.
He had mentioned that you talked about you got scammed on your first one, but like you found out, hey, these are a good tool for the job.
Yeah. The first one I bought, somebody said this is a new ghost hunting device sold to me for $20. It's like, and then I found out I could buy like, you know, for $29.99 I could get 30 of them. So
yeah.
But yeah.
So it's just sitting there in the dark, and all of a sudden it moves.
Yeah.
And lights up.
Yeah. The cat balls. The whole thing with them is they have to move to light up. Okay, they don't randomly light up.
Yep.
So you sit it out there and hope something moves. And it turns out that's one of the best ghost hunting tools we found because there's no false positives. We even got to the point, one of the people in my group builds trays to put them in. So that even if you're on an uneven floor now, they're not going to move. They sit in this tray so they don't move.
What about a breeze or something?
Yeah, it won't. If you keep them stationary, they have to actually move.
Okay. I'm just trying to debunk it a little.
And unfortunately, after a while, they shut off because one of the cats we just adopted from Meowtown put it somewhere and we haven't found it yet.
Well, that's a perfect segue for we're running out of time.
Exactly.
Thanks for coming in, Dean.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
And don't forget, tomorrow night, Franklin Lodge, right here in Alton.
Correct.
You may see Robert Wadlow's ghost.
Always hope.
Look up.
Yeah.
Yeah, very big ghost.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big one.
That would be amazing. And then up in Jerseyville, the Odd Fellows. Where's
Saturday
that at?
It's on Pearl Street.
So I'm not.
It's a block off of Uptown.
Okay.
As you're going through the main drag, it's about a block off of the Uptown.
Okay. I know the White Spot. Is that still there?
No, I miss that place. Some of the best chicken I've ever had.
Yeah. So anyways, thanks for coming in.
I appreciate
once
you.
again. Midwest Paranormal What are we showing it to?
Investigators Consortium.
MPIC,
MPIC. Right. You can find us on Facebook.
right? Private group.
No, we ask one question in there, and it's a question they asked in Ghostbusters. It's the "Do you believe in all this?" It was the one they used in the commercial, and as long as you answer that, we let you in.
Okay.
That way we don't get bots in.
Yeah.
Mathew Murder, thank you for sitting in for Pigpen.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Check him out Saturday
Yep, Shea, Maryland, 7 to 9.
Yeah, if you're not coming to see me, go see him.
or both.
Or both.
Yeah, you can do both.
Yeah. Go do some investigating and bail out a little early and go see Mathew Murder wrap up his set.
Definitely.
Or show up a little late. They'll let you in if you
Yeah.
pay, right?
Yeah, hey, it's a charity thing.
Right. Going to restore these old buildings, and it's a wonderful thing you're doing. Look forward to Aura.
Yeah, it's going to be neat. I mean, one quick thing before we get off here, we are going to be doing something in the spring for Meowtown, the Alton Cat Rescue. We are going to do a hunt for them. So kind of keep on the eye for that. All of it's charity once more. I figure since I got 2 cats there, I might want to do something for them.
And you got cat balls.
Yeah, I've got cat balls and cats.
So-
There it goes together.
And amazingly, the cats don't really like them.
That's amazing. Well, I appreciate both you guys coming in and keeping me company for an hour, keeping our listeners up to date on the paranormal community and the music community that we have right here in the Riverbend, which
Definitely, you
is
gotta support
amazing.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, most haunted town in America, one of,
That's what they say.
and one of the coolest music scenes I've ever experienced.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'd like to thank our sponsors, which I think I've not done during the show yet. Halpa Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voors. I did say that at the
You
beginning.
did at the
You did
beginning,
the-
but it doesn't hurt to say it again.
Of Macias Insurance and up in Jerseyville, German Insurance.
Correct?
Yeah, right near the church.
Yep.
So we appreciate them allowing us to do this for going on almost 10 years. We'll be 10 years in 2026, May of 2026.
Wow.
Sweet.
Time flies.
It doesn't seem like it should be that long, but it is.
Now, I got to ask Matthew, since he is the co-host, does he know how to sign off on this show?
What do we say? What does Pigpen say?
Everybody get out and support
Local.
music
Everything. Ghosts
and art.
and art.
Always.